Okay folks, today I'm going to do a preservation experimentation with relics, iron relics that is. So in the past I tried a few things with preserving your iron relics. Sometimes they work, sometimes they didn't. I do use electrolysis, I do have a video on that. But I did some stuff in the past that just didn't turn out quite right, and since then I've noticed they've started to rust again. So obviously I didn't do it correctly. So I'm going to try a new technique today after I take these objects back through electrolysis again. So I just wanted to show you, if you look at this old hoe or whatever it's called, it's starting to rust through again. And some of my techniques, I tried just the spray enamel over top. People recommended that works. It really doesn't work in my opinion. Some people use WD-40 over time. That's not going to work either. So I'm going to try something new today. I'm going to try this new stuff called Rust Converter made by Gemplers. I got this off of a video from a guy named Steve Phillips. And you should look him up. He's a guy who's been doing a lot of metal detecting for I think over 40 years. It's really fascinating. He recommends this stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this stuff back through electrolysis again to see if we can preserve these iron relics forever. That's the goal. Alright, so everything's in the electrolysis tank cooking away here. If you look real closely, you can see the bubbles coming up from the horseshoe here on the edge. So that way you know we got stuff going on, it's working. Not sure if that horseshoe's working or not. You can see over here, if you look closely, you can see the bubbles coming off the metal. That's how you know it's working. Alright, so we're back after a couple days of well, it hasn't been a couple days. It's been a couple of days since I last recorded, but after a few hours of electrolysis, we got our horseshoes here back down to metal. There's still a little bit of rust in the holes here where the nails would have been, but I think we're going to leave that in there. I'm just curious on what this new stuff's going to do to these horseshoes when we apply it. So that's what it looks like now. It's all cleaned up. It's ready to go. We're back to metal. That's where we want it to be. So now let's try the new way to preserve iron using Gemplers. Alright, so we're going to pour the Gemplers Rust Converter in a little container here. I'm not going to use very much. A little bit goes a long way from what I've been told. So we're going to use just a little bit. I am wearing protective gloves. Recommend you do it on the bottle as part of the directions. And so all I got here is I got a little foam brush I'm going to use. It's the only one I could find around my house. And I'm going to just dip this in here and start applying it to the metal. I've never done this before, so this will be a first attempt for me and you if you haven't seen anybody do this.
I hope this still works. I'm pretty excited. Because if this works as well as Mr. Phillips is claiming, then I'm in. I'll be doing it this way from here out. Alright, so there's one horseshoe done. Almost turns like a purple color. I don't know if you can see that on the camera or not, but it kind of is turning like a purplish color. I mean, my eyes are just playing tricks on me. Alright, we'll set that off to the side while we do the others.
Alright, it's been 20 minutes. Actually, it's been more like 30. And here's what they look like so far with one coat of the Gemplers Rust Converter. I'm not sure. I'm on the fence so far. I mean, it looks like it's doing something, but it's kind of turning a weird color. Like it almost looks like it's turning a brownish color in spots. You know, look at that one. Alright, so I'm going to be upfront about something. So the first coat that I used, it was on a very humid day, and so I did not like the way it was turning out. So I waited till it was a very dry day. We've been having rain for the last, I don't know, week. But the temperature got real cool and the humidity went away, and I went ahead and tried it again. And I think this time it worked like a champ. So this is actually the second coat. It's all dry now. You can see I'm actually doing other ones now because I think I'm going to go with this process. But Look how nice they turned out. That is 2 coats of Gempler's Rust Converter. Thank you, Steve Phillips. I think this is the way I'm going to go from here out. These ones that I'm doing right now just have 1 coat on them, and already they look like $1,000,000. And I got a little Civil War buckle there. At least I think it's a Civil War buckle. But yeah, man, these horseshoes turned out really good, and that's the key. My recommendation is when you throw this stuff through electrolysis, take it out, scrape it off, brush it off, rinse it with water, but do not let it stay wet. If you let it stay wet, that's when you're going to have rust problems again. And I'm going to use this process from here out. I like it. It's easy, and it's worked a heck of a lot better than my other previous attempts. So there you have it. Once again, you can get it at Gempler's. They don't pay me for this, but that's what I'm using, Rust Converter. And again, thank you, Mr. Steve Phillips, for this awesome tip.
I'm sure this is pretty boring, watching me apply some crazy little chemical to an old horseshoe. So I will probably edit out a lot of the pain that you're witnessing, or you would witness if I didn't. So hopefully this isn't too boring.